Love and happiness make you do right.
Yeah, that's right.
Love and happiness make you do right.
Yo, it make you do right.
Stand here with Team Associated factory driver Ryan Maifield. Ryan, you had a pretty good day. Started the day off with a win, and then got another one here in the fourth round. It was pretty good.
Yeah, the day went really smooth. You know, I got 2 firsts and 2 seconds. So, and the last run starting 10th, kind of worked my way through the field. Me and Tebow had a really good battle. So did me and Truey, and luckily, you know, it worked out in my favor, and I got another victory. So, I'm looking at least getting out of the day one still in contention, which is always important at this event, and see how tomorrow goes.
We saw in the early couple rounds today, pretty much whoever started up front, as long as they kept it on 4 wheels, would end up winning. The later rounds today, it seemed like there were a lot more battles for position. Is that just people feeling each other out, or the track changing, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, the first round, everybody usually kind of minds their P's and Q's a little bit. Just, you know, get it rolling, don't push, you know, no pressure on anybody. And then as a later, everybody gets desperate and they want to get as many, you know, the lowest points possible. So they start pressuring situations, and then it turns into chaos. So that's kind of what happened in my heat when I started 10th on the last one. The first corner was a pile up, you know, and then 2 laps later there's another pile up. Luckily I was in 3rd. So normally at the end of the first day it gets a little higher intensity because everybody's getting desperate, and then tomorrow it'll be a little calmer, and then Sunday only the people that are in contention are really going to be pushing the issue. So that's usually how this race plays out.
First, I think when everybody got here, I thought the track maybe looked a little, well, it is small, so maybe a little bit simple on, you know, just in terms of the layout, but it seems like when we got into heads-up racing today, it was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, the track is not the most complicated track, but it is just like any track. It's hard to go fast. You have to pick your lines. You have to be very precise of where you're putting your vehicle. And what I talked to Brent about the race beforehand and just said, hey man, that, you know, normally the tracks are super hard. You know, we're not here to race the track. We're here to race our competitors. So if all you're worried about is the next obstacle on the track, then that's not good racing. That doesn't make for good racing. So this track is fairly easy for all the competitors, so that way you can just focus on passing, not getting past and moving position. So I think it's working out really well.
You had, like you said, 4 good runs today. Does that kind of change your approach going into tomorrow?
No, I mean, I just came in with an open mind today. You know, it is what it is. Like this race, you can control your destiny, but you can't control where you start. So you just have to kind of manage what you can do out there. So that's what I did today. It worked out really well, and do the same thing tomorrow. Like I said, you never know what you're going to get. You just got to manage the situation, and hopefully it turns out good.
You had 4 two-wheel drive races today. You had 2 more tomorrow before the race switches into 4-wheel. Do you think that your chances are better in 4-wheel, or were you hoping to get as many points as you could here in 2-wheel?
I think both my cars are pretty even. I mean, my 2-wheel drive was a little easier to drive, but I think everybody's 2-wheel drive is a little easier to drive. So I made a couple changes on my 4-wheel, nothing big, went through it, had some, you know, funky parts going on. So I'm confident with both vehicles, and like I said, you know, it doesn't matter who's the fastest guy. You just have to have the speed to stay in contention, manage your place. Hopefully people crash if you're behind, and just see what happens. You just manage your situation at the time, and hopefully you get a good finish.
We did a great job of that today. Congratulations, man. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We got 2011 Reedy Race champion here, Dustin Evans. He had pretty good luck today. Grabbed a round win and some pretty stellar finishes in some of the other rounds. Tell us a little bit about your day.
Yeah, I started off really good. I had a front row starting spot and was able to lead wire to wire, take a win. Had a little bit of bad luck. The second round was 4. The third round I started 9th and drove all the way to 2nd, battle with Cavalieri, so whenever you can do that, it's really good. And then the last round, a little bit of bad luck again and had a 5, so day full of some ups and downs. Not as good as I'd like it to go, but still got a couple more 2-wheel tomorrow. Just going to have to hopefully throw out that 5 and have some good finishes tomorrow.
It seems like, especially as we saw in the earlier rounds today, starting position means everything. In fact, the first round today, all 4 guys that started up front were able to take the win. So it's really just the luck of the draw.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has to start in all the different spots, but I mean, sometimes you'll start in the middle and there'll be a huge pile up, you'll be in the lead in the front. It seems like when I start in middle or back, nothing happens and you're just falling around. It's definitely a little bit difficult to pass out there. It's hard determining when to be aggressive, when to be patient, and sometimes you got to make moves early to try to get to the front of someone really fast up there. But yeah, I mean, that's what's part of the challenge of the Reedy Race. That's what makes this race so much fun and very challenging to win.
we've heard from a couple of drivers that the track's not too awful complicated, but it's made it pretty exciting for racing. But there's still not very many places to pass either.
Yeah, no, I mean, the track's good. There's still, I mean, the trickiest sections are probably braking coming into the roller and the end of the straightaway. I guess the front jump section can be a little tricky and stuff too. But yeah, no, it's good. For me, I like a little more technical tracks. I'd like to see more jumps. I think that a little bit of one section that's really technical, it's hard to do, will create more racing because it kind of creates mistakes. But no, it's been good. I think there's been a lot of good races, and hopefully there'll be a lot more to come.
And we've got 2 more rounds of two-wheel drive tomorrow before we get into the four-wheel portion. This will be the first time you guys have come to the TLR team has come to the Reedy Race with the 22.4. So, how was practice with that car, and are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, no, my four-wheel was really, really good. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Come four-wheel time should be good. And, yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Well, good luck, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got 3-time on-road world champion here, Marc Rheinard. Doing a little bit of off-road racing again this weekend. How you doing?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Better than I expected it. So, yeah, I could win the first round, which was pretty, no, not lucky. Just like, I didn't think about winning one run here. So, yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, you did grab a round win, one of the first races on the track today. Had an up front starting spot, just kept it on 4 wheels and made it happen.
Yeah, exactly. I just took advantage of my first position spot and just didn't crash at all. And I mean, Cavalieri was for sure way faster, but he had to make the way through. I think it started pretty far back, and I kept the car on the tires and just went for the win.
So, especially when you're maybe not quite as confident, sending it in here on dirt as some of the off-road guys, starting position is probably pretty important.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you have a good start, it's like kind of all you need. So, if you're one time like in a pack and just have one crash, you have no chance to get up to the front if no one crashes up there.
But on the other side of that, coming into this race as the on-road guy, you got to have a little bit less pressure as some of the other drivers.
Yeah, that's for sure. I just do it like I'm having fun here. I don't have pressure at all. So I'm totally free going to the track, and can be an advantage for me because I'm just totally free in the run. So, yeah.
What do you think of the layout?
I like it. I mean, it's not like crazy difficult, but racing-wise it's good. You have like some nice spots where you can overtake or overjump someone. So racing-wise for this kind of racing format, it's perfect.
And we know that you're better at 4-wheel drive than 2-wheel drive just because of your on-road background. So we got 2 more races in 2-wheel tomorrow, and then we get into your class.
Yeah, but I'm actually pretty surprised that the 2-wheel drive is going so good. I don't know if I can do better in 4-wheel, but yeah, for me it's easier to drive because I can push it harder. So yeah, we will see.
And what was your favorite part of today? I mean, obviously taking that race win, but did you have any like moments of accomplishment?
Oh, I think the first one was just like kind of was pretty surprised, and yeah, this was my highlight of the day.
So it was all downhill from there?
Yeah, the second one was pretty downhill, finished 9th and 5th, and the last one was pretty good again, finishing 3rd behind Mayfield and Tebow. So yeah, it was kind of a peak again.
Yeah, at least you ended on a high note. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
We got one of our fastest European drivers here, Neil Cragg. You had a pretty good day today.
Yeah, not too bad, good results really. I've not really had a lot of pace, in all honesty, in 2-wheel drive, so I've just had to rely on good starts and making my car really wide.
You managed to grab a round win today in 2-wheel drive, and like you were saying, it's more just about racing for position. It's not necessarily the fastest driver that's going to win this race.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm pretty much on the start that I'm not going to be the fastest driver here, but it's all about trying to keep clean and try and get a good start and just pick up points even when you think, maybe a 6th or 7th, just keep going. You might get like a 4th or a 5th, just every point's vital.
And some of the tracks that, you guys come over here and race on in the U.S. are, a little more supercross style with a lot more jumps and a little more what we'd call an American track, but this layout's kind of simple and it seems like it's, made for some pretty good heads-up racing.
It has, because the track is really cool to drive, but it is pretty straightforward. So the lap times are so close, between the top guy and the last guy. There's minimum in it, so every mistake's really, it counts for a lot. So aim of the game is no crashes.
And it looks like one of the toughest parts on the track is right at the end of the straightaway, just because it has these 3 drop downs, and yet that's the first corner. So how tough is it, having a double file start and 10 cars going straight into that section?
Yeah, it is a pretty difficult section. I mean, the start, all you're trying to do is not. You don't want to hit the guy in front, but then you don't want to go too slow. You don't want to risk getting hit. But the first corner is really weird. It seems to go on forever, the main straight, and you think turn in, wait, and then you turn in, and then you've got the steps. It is the most difficult bit of the track to get right, but it's made for some good racing, some good passes though.
And were you more looking forward to the two-wheel drive portion of this, or are you just excited for four-wheel tomorrow?
In practice, my four-wheel drive was better, so hopefully I can kind of keep myself in contention for a good result in two-wheel drive, and then hopefully pick up some good points in four-wheel drive. But it doesn't always work like that. A few years ago, my four-wheel drive was dialed in practice, and I had a really good two-wheel drive, and I thought, oh, this is it. And then four-wheel drive was just awful. Everything went wrong. So this year, I want to do really well, but I'm here just for the fun of it. I love the racing, so whatever happens, happens, good or bad.
Yeah, well, good luck tomorrow.
All right, cheers, mate.
Standing here with 2012 Reedy Race champion. You were actually the only European driver in the history of this race to win, so that had to have been pretty special.
Yeah, it was very special. The first driver from Europe to win. Yeah, very nice.
And you had a round win today here in the first 4 rounds of two-wheel, so kind of set you up for at least the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, I started with a second and a little bit rough round with sixth and first and another second, so I'm pretty happy.
And we've seen a lot of the drivers here, especially just in the first few rounds. It's just as much about trying to figure out who you can race with and how to compete with each of the drivers individually.
Yeah, I think that most of the drivers have the same pace, same lap times, and starting position is very important on this layout. It's very hard to overtake, so but I try my best.
Is there, obviously you want to start up front, but every time you get up on the starting line, do you kind of try to figure out a strategy for the first corner, or is it just trying not to crash?
Yeah, I try not to crash and then try as hard as I can to be in the front.
That seems like a pretty simple strategy.
Yeah, it is. I always try to win, so sometimes if you see like you cannot win, maybe second place is more important than to crash and finish, I don't know, 5th, 6th.
Now, what do you think is the most difficult part of the track, and where did you have the best luck getting around people today?
And last round I tried before the double-double to pass Cody Turner. It works out good, but then he overjumped me in the double-double because he went big, so I think that's the only part where you can overtake.
And the finish line is actually halfway down the back straightaway, so we saw some pretty cool drag races for position. What do you think when you go into that last corner with somebody and you just got to rip on the throttle and make it?
Yeah, last race it was very close between Cody Neumann and me. I stayed on the inside, so he cannot go on power early, and then it's no problem.
And how badly are you looking forward to four-wheel drive tomorrow?
I like four-wheel drive more than two-wheel drive, that's for sure. You can drive it more hard, and I'm a little bit faster four-wheel drive, so should be good.
Well, congratulations on a pretty good day today, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Got another British driver here, Lee Martin. He had a pretty good day today, grabbing a couple of round wins.
Yeah, my day started pretty bad, and then it's got better this afternoon. So yeah, not a bad day. 50-50.
This is one of your first big races with Yokomo. What's it been like getting used to the new cars?
Yeah, I mean the cars are really easy to drive, really nice. Building them, they're beautiful, beautiful machines. So yeah, everything's going well. Learning how they drive and seem to be suiting me, and we're making a good bond so far. So yeah, it's good.
Is it tough showing up to a race like this, specifically because you're racing heads up with people? So if they're maybe perhaps a little bit more comfortable with their cars, they can be more comfortable driving in traffic?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd have liked to have come a bit earlier to test, but we had the EOS race in England. Well, it was in Germany. So I couldn't get out any earlier, so I didn't actually get to test. So it's literally when I went on the track, it was the first time I raced both cars on dirt. So yeah, it's kind of, you have to learn how much you can push it before it wants to bite back at you, and I haven't reached that point yet, so I don't know actually how fast I can go. So it's all a learning process, but yeah, it's all going well now, so let's just hope it carries on to tomorrow.
Well, specifically, I guess the track probably plays in a little bit of your favor then, because it's not terribly difficult, but it seems like it's still plenty hard to go fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the hardest track in the world, but it's actually pretty difficult to pass on this track, and if you get a little bit... The problem is with the easier tracks is if you get a bit of rough luck and you hit someone on your roof, it's really hard to make up the time to get it back again. So, yeah, although the track's pretty easy, if you do have a rough first few laps, it's kind of hard to get back into the race. So.
When you're racing heads up so many times in a weekend, I mean, you've got 12 heads up starts. That's a whole lot of strategy going into the first corner every time. Does it matter how you approach the first corner based on where you start, or is it kind of just get through safely and hope that nothing happens?
Yeah, I think every race is definitely different. It's like sometimes you go in really tentatively and trying to pick your line and you still get hit, or sometimes you go in full throttle and you'll get away with everything. So I mean, everything is completely different and random. So I mean, it's a great thing to watch, but sometimes it's really frustrating to be a driver trying to do well and something's not working out for you. But I think it's better for the audience that's watching it. So.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We were saying that it's great to watch, sometimes not so great to drive. But when the first corner is a big sweeper with 3 separate drop-offs into a tight 180, that's got to make it a little bit more difficult. Yeah,
it's definitely everyone's going pretty slow, and anything can happen on the first couple of corners. And early on in the day, the bad things happened to me on the first few corners, and at the end of the day, the good things happened. So, I mean, that's how it is. The start of the day, I got a 9 and a 6, and the end is 2 wins. I mean, it's basically all to do with that first lap. So, yep, the first corner and definitely the first lap is the most important, I think.
We're splitting tomorrow up for the Invitational guys. You got 2 more 2-wheel races, and then we get into 4-wheel. Like you said, you don't have a whole lot of experience with either of your cars this weekend, but what is your opinion going into 4-wheel? Are you excited? Are you nervous?
I'm pretty excited because I think 4-wheel is it's a lot faster, a lot more mistakes, and it's a lot easier to pass. 2-wheel's everyone's got to be kind of a little bit smooth and pick your lines, whereas 4-wheel you can be a little bit more aggressive, throw it in, brake late, it's not going to spin round on you. So I think racing is going to get pretty more intense, and it's going to be more opportunity to pass everyone, so I think it's going to be more fun.
Well, it's going to be more fun to watch. Thanks for the interview and good luck.
Yep, no thank you.
And I'm taking them down, I'm breaking them down. These walls of hatred embracing my town, closing us in to corrupt the souls, telling us to buy jealousy with trust the soul. Now we've heard the story told, the story is old.